everybody, and welcome to What's the Story podcast. This is WTS 312. My name is Danny Murray.
And I'm Graham Errigan. It would be brilliant for episode 316 if we could get Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah, man. Yeah, we definitely. Look, we'll reach out. We'll get nowhere, but we'll
Do we
reach
have an
out.
email? We reached out before, didn't we?
We did. Yeah, we did. We've reached out to a good few of them over the years. Some have landed, some have
Yeah.
not landed, and some have politely declined. I'll always remember the Nature Boy Ric Flair's polite thanks, but no thanks.
Really? I don't remember that. Tell me.
It was his wife. His wife replied to him. She was
Wendy, wasn't it?
Wendy, yeah,
Yeah.
and it was a very sweet, polite fuck off.
They saw that we couldn't provide thousands of dollars.
More than likely, yeah. They were like, "Who are these two absolute fucking sideshow
We should go back.
amateurs?"
And back in the day, we used to be so enthusiastic and sending emails to fucking all sorts. We should get back into that buzz.
We should that's how we ended up landing half the people we landed over the years. Just pure ignorance to people saying no and just saying, "Shut up." What just send a message, see what
Yeah.
happens.
Now there's too many podcasts, for fuck's sake.
That's it. As friend of the show and former guest Brianna Parkins has dubbed it, every bastard has a podcast now.
Is that what she said?
Yeah, that's what she said. If she was going to start a podcast herself, that's what it would be called.
Deadly.
There you go. Anyway, Mero, before we get into things, if people want to listen to us and they haven't already, hit subscribe on all the things that you subscribe to. We're on Spotify, we're on Apple Podcasts, we're now on YouTube, Graham.
Oh, yes.
Big development there. Much like when we took to Instagram about 3 weeks ago, we're now on YouTube.
When you say we,
Yeah.
you.
And when
There was no discussion. This was, by the way, we've Instagram now. By the way, we've YouTube now.
Yeah.
We used to have a conference and we used to have stakeholders involved, and now it's just, you're going solo.
I've cut the stakeholders out and I've just made executive decisions, Graham. That's how you get shit done. And when I say we're on YouTube, I don't mean you'll see us having a chat like, it's not, it's just our logo with the audio in the background, because that's how YouTube has pulled the feed through, and I'm fine with that.
Perfect.
It means less work for me. But there are people out there who have asked us over the years, are you on YouTube? Are you on this? Are you on that? And then somebody very fairly highlighted the fact that we were talking about inclusiveness, and we were talking about, access to things for
diversity.
People, and they said that, you don't have anything with captions available for people who are hard of hearing, and that is an excellent and fair challenge, and I fully accept that. So we're now on YouTube where captions are enabled, and hopefully that will help that person and others who may want to sample our goods. But yeah, anyway, look, hit subscribe everywhere you can get podcast, lads. And at this rate, I'll be opening an OnlyFans and everything for us. So subscribe there too. At WTS Pod, wherever you
I can give content to that.
Absolutely. Lovely. Yeah. Can't wait, Graham. Can't wait for whatever images you send me with just the caption, "This is for the OnlyFans."
me playing with a flute.
Absolutely, yeah. You hum it, I'll play it. Well, yeah. It's just you and I this week, Graham. Or you and me, rather. It's grammatically
you and I.
No, me.
You and me.
Yeah. So that grammar thing happens a lot, right? And my understanding of it, and I'm yet to be corrected on it, is if you are using a sentence where you would say me naturally, then it stays you and me. But if you were saying I, that's when. So in this instance, if it was just me doing this podcast, it wouldn't be hello and welcome to it with just I, Danny Murray. It'd be with me, Danny Murray. So therefore, do you get me?
Yeah, I get you, yeah.
So yeah, so there you go.
Never thought we'd be talking about that on a podcast before, but sure, look.
There we go. That is exactly. Jesus Christ, what have we come to? What this is going to be a weird one as well because there's one topic I do want to talk to you about. When you were a kid, do you know what you wanted to be when you grew up?
Oh no. When define the age bracket of kid.
Well, okay, okay. Let me cast your memory back, Graham. And if I was any good at post production, this is where I'd put in that harp type thing that you always get in flashbacks. You're sitting in Billy Redmond's office in St. Lawrence
Right, so
College in
teenager.
Nottingham. All right, Grant, just cut the
Sorry.
just cut me scene setting absolutely zero there. Yeah, Graham, when you were a teenager, go ahead.
Do your flashback sitting.
You're sitting in Billy Redmond's office in St. Lawrence College in
Yes.
Loughnstown, Dublin 18.
Lovely man.
Lovely man, the career guidance counselor that we all had. And he's giving you the big talk and he's saying to you, Graham, what do you want to do when your journey with us here in St. Lawrence College comes to an end?
Well, that scenario happened to all of us in Lawrence during that era with Billy Redmond as counsellor.
Did you?
I did say at the time when we all had our meetings with him, I said I'd like to be an actor.
Right.
And he didn't burst the dream, but he did. There was a sense of realism in his response that he encouraged me to think of another profession because there wasn't many people with disabilities as actors.
Right.
And then I was on Fair City.
Look at that.
But no, I did have that conversation with him, a very good conversation. And I did say an actor. And that was honestly the response he gave. And it was a sincere response. And then my second choice I said to him was radio. I'd love to be a radio host.
Very good.
So they were the two things back in the day with Billy Redmond, career guidance counselor in St. Lawrence College. Um, and he was a lovely man. He gave me really good advice and it hit home. It was just be yourself.
Yeah.
And I think that be yourself meant a bit more for me than it would somebody else
Okay.
because I think he probably thought the wheelchair might be um it might affect along the road in the big bad world of adulthood, but he was always saying just be yourself. And I have done that since the day
Hmm.
I left Lawrence's.
Yeah, it's funny because he always told me to be someone else there.
Did he?
No,
No.
no, just messing. No, that is that, and that's it's one though. It's the simplest advice ever to give, and sometimes people kind of go like, "Oh, that's such generic nonsense." But for teenagers particularly, and you who had a more unique circumstance than many of us in that school, it's it's advice that maybe, as you said, reigns a little bit truer than anything else.
Yeah, he
Uh,
wrote it in the autograph book. Remember the autograph books we used to
oh, I
get?
do remember the autograph books. Yeah,
Yeah, that's what he wrote.
right.
I remember going up to Mr. Moran and asking him to sign me sign the autograph book. And he says to me, why do you want me to sign it? And I said, because I'm graduated. He says, but sure, you never paid attention. You never respected me. I was like, all
Jesus,
right, sorry about that.
good luck to you.
Good luck, Stan Moran. I saw
Yeah,
him recently, actually.
did you?
Yeah, yeah,
You
saw
still
him
going?
in Tesco Park Point. I saw him getting out of the car wearing the exact same cords and the exact same blazer as he did in between 1997 and 2003.
Well, yeah, there you go. Sustainable fashion.
Absolutely.
Sustainable fashion. So, right, this,
What was your meeting like with Mr. Redmond?
funny enough, I also said I would love to work in radio,
Right.
which is interesting. And then I don't know if it was a thing because you were a couple of years ahead of me, so maybe I hadn't kicked in at this stage. But you'd go onto the CAO website and you'd do a career quiz, and based on your answers, it would spit back like three or
Remember
four
that?
things.
Yeah, Jesus.
So,
That's a flashback from
yeah,
blast from the past.
yeah. So I remember doing it in his office, and he left me to it. He said, "Right, go on. fill in, click those answers, blah, blah, blah. I'll come back to you in a couple of minutes and we'll have a chat about what you think about it and how you could potentially get into something like that. It's like deadly. When he came back, he was a bit puzzled and he was looking at me as if I had broke the website because the three options, and I'll never forget this, the three options I got were a zookeeper, a funeral director, and an event planner. And
What?
yeah, in fairness, a funeral director and event planner, I mean, they're they're probably distant cousins, but they're kind of in the same wheelhouse, you know what I mean?
Oh,
Well, the funeral
because
directors
you're
all,
planning a funeral, like.
yeah, exactly, you know what I mean?
So,
It's a morbid event, but it's an event.
yeah, but a funeral director more so about, the bodies and stuff.
I mean, what was like 16, 17 or whatever when you're doing those quizzes?
Mm.
I was just kind of alarmed at the fact that whatever I had picked said, this fella, he's going to work with dead bodies. He's got dead bodies written all over him.
Did your year ever have a school reunion?
I think somebody tried to do one and it just went, you know, belly up. I think a few
What were
people did
you,
get there.
class of '06?
Class of '06. Yeah, class of '06.
We had
Um,
one, a 10-year one, and it was good crack. Not many showed up now, but
yeah,
it was good crack. My 20-year one was last year,
that's right.
but
I
we
was
didn't
going to
have a
say.
reunion.
Yeah, that's like our 20 year one obviously is coming up, but nobody has, well, maybe somebody will take the initiative too, but I don't know. I don't know.
Father Mike used to arrange them, didn't he?
No, he
Back in the
wouldn't.
day.
He wouldn't do it with our year. I can tell you that one. He hated our year. He fucking hated us, man. Absolutely. He liked a few of us, but he hated a lot of us. I got on grand with him because I used to chat to him about computers, so he was loving life. And I remember the
I,
iPod came out, so I talked to him about the like tech kind of thing, and
yeah,
he was a happy bunny then, you know. But Jesus, yeah, no, just
I went back to Lawrence's around 2019, I'd say,
hmm
to deliver a talk with my job.
yeah,
And it was to transition year students, I think. Yeah, it was transition year students. It was a transition year program, maybe. And it wasn't about me, it was about the job, about where I work. And before I did the talk, Father Mike came into the class and gave an emotional speech about me to the students. And
oh
I was
wow,
like, where is this coming from? Saying how proud he was. He thought it was amazing that I worked in technology. And he was trying to pep talk them, but he got very emotional.
he
And
was an
I,
emotional man.
I was up there with a colleague from work, Lauren, and we were leaving, and Lauren remarked on it. I said, Lauren, that completely took me by surprise. And she says, why? And I said, my mum went to a parent teacher meeting. She came home and she was giving out stink to me. And I was like, what are you all mad for? And she said, I went to Father Mike to see how you were in the parent teacher meeting. And he said, you never show up to his class. So I said, he
Ah,
ratted me out like for skipping. I used to always skip computers uh, with him. So it came out of nowhere.
yeah.
But none of the brothers are like Mike or Jerry or Fred, Jim. I see Jim quite regularly out and about, and they haven't aged at all.
Fred, I think had. Now I haven't seen Fred in a couple of years,
Fred's
but
mobility probably has a bit, but the chap's
yeah,
83 or
I was
84.
gonna
Like,
say, yeah, he is.
I think he's 84 this year. He was 80
Yeah,
during COVID.
yeah. So, a lovely, lovely man though. Great time for our brother Fred. For all the brothers, to be fair, they were good folk. Um, but the reason, Graham, that I asked about when you were sitting in Billy Redmond's office in St. Lawrence
He's
College,
not going to show up here, is he? As a surprise?
yeah, surprise guest. No, it was because isn't it mad how the number of careers that now exist and the number of different avenues for success in life that just did not exist when we were in school.
Yeah,
And like that, like so me and you had probably like that kind of quirky or I'd say a lot of people went into those meetings and they're like, oh, I want to be a lawyer or I want to be a teacher or I want to be do you know what I mean? Those kind of
yeah,
jobs. Whereas you and I going in saying I want to be in radio and you saying you want to be an actor and in some weird way podcasting and you being on Fair City and whatever has you know, brought us into those world because podcasting is an extension of the medium, so to
Yeah.
speak. But they don't tell you about some of the weirder jobs out there, do they?
Where is this going?
Grant, did anybody ever say to you, you know what you could be when you grow up? You could be a flatulist.
No. What a flatulist?
Yes, Graham, a flatulist.
As in
Also, also
releasing of gas, like.
the very thing, a professional farter, Graham. A professional farter.
Why would you need somebody? Why would you pay somebody to fart?
Why wouldn't you?
Is
Why
this
wouldn't
is
you?
this real?
This is very real, right? So I've gone down a rabbit hole, and it's been a
Oh,
while
here we
since this.
go. Here we go.
It's been a while since this podcast went down rabbit holes, right? But
Wait, like put me wheels up.
lovely.
Relax.
I heard a tidbit about a man in the 1100s called Roland the Farter. And the second I heard the name, I was like, this is right up my fucking street. Hang on a second. Right? This fella existed. And for the ability to pass wind on command, he was rewarded with riches beyond your wildest dreams. By
What
King,
century was this?
this would have been the 12th century, the 1100s we're talking here. Right?
So
So
it was
King
medieval farter.
medieval times, exactly, yeah. King Henry II made him one of his most beloved and primary forms of entertainment and gave him a massive estate in Suffolk in England, which I believe is a lovely part of the world. I've never been. And yeah, he would rock up every Christmas and perform a show called One Jump and a Whistle and One Fart. And he made it and he made a fortune from it. And I was like, this is absolutely insane. One jump, a whistle, and one fart. He'd
For the
rock up
King's
every Christmas.
Court.
Yeah, he wasn't like a court clown or anything like that. He was just this fella who could fart really, really well. And I was like, I wonder if there's any other famous farters out there. Fartists, if you will, Graham. And it turns out there are. They're like this. So in France, there was a guy called Le Petoman, right? Which uh the translation of that French verb péter is to fart and man is maniac. So the translation being the farting maniac. And he discovered that he could fart on command as well and had an unbelievable career going around just farting his head off in live shows. He was so good that he could fart to the tune of music and hit the right note. That's how good he was, right? So he would do live shows and he'd
Again,
play.
what century was this one?
Sorry, Le Peterman was the he went from the late 1800s and he died in 1945. Right? Don't
And was
worry,
he
there's
still working up to his death?
he was working right up until old age, yeah, yeah, all the way.
And is anyone
Um,
taking over him?
well, Graham, I'm glad you asked. Right, there is a current live performing artist named Mr. Methane. Right?
Mr. What?
Mr. Methane,
Where's
right?
he from?
England,
Are all
and
these farters from England?
well, no, well, Le Petit Man was French.
But the original one
Oh, yeah, he was English. Yeah,
and the
Roland.
last surviving one was English.
Well, the three examples that I have at the moment are, yeah,
English,
um,
so always full of crap.
yeah. Well, Graham, Graham,
An
how dismissive of an art. Um,
art. Farting
well,
is an art.
well,
Unbelievable.
Le Peto Man was. Do you know the film Blazing Saddles?
Yeah.
He was referenced in that, the Mel Brooks movie. So I mean, clearly people are out there. You know, people are
Just
out there
mad what
who,
people will pay.
yeah,
Like you kind of go medieval times, 12, the 12, 11, 1200s.
yeah, and you
You
kind of
know,
think to
how is it,
yourself,
how does that even, like, do they keep record How far do the records go back that they keep farters?
Well, I assume that the reason that Roland is still known about today is purely because the king was so impressed by his ability to break wind that it's in the annals of history, and it was the court records, and if they were paying him, they gave him a sprawling estate in Suffolk at the end of the day. Hemmingstone is the name of the estate. I just looked it up.
It's probably still
Um,
there.
let's have a quick look, Graham. Let's have a quick look.
But like,
Uh,
what,
yeah, it is.
why would
It's now a village, believe it or not.
why would the king want a gesture or something to fart like?
Graham, are you telling me you've never laughed at fart?
Yeah,
Of course you have, right? Of course you have. Maybe,
inappropriate farts. Yeah,
maybe King Henry II was a man who just loved a good fart and found him to be maybe had a very childlike sense of humor where farting just tickled him in a way that nothing else did, and he decided that's every Christmas that's my treat to myself. Watch a man doing one whistle and a jump and a fart to round us off on this one. I mentioned Mr. Methane. Paul Oldfield is his real name, Mr. Methane, the stage name for anybody who was thinking that, Jesus, imagine growing up to be a farter and your surname is Methane. No, no, that is a very elaborate stage name.
can
Uh,
you hear this, Danny?
no, whatever you're doing, I can't hear.
Doesn't matter.
Never mind. Very well. Uh, um, so Mr. Methane, this is absolutely incredible, right? He's been performing now for over 30 years.
What?
He was a train driver who was involved in a train accident
Performing where, like?
around the world. Wait till you hear this, right? He was a train driver. He was involved in an accident after the train's brakes failed. He took early retirement after that to pursue his dream of being a fartist, right? This is genuine. This is genuine. After the incident, he started to focus on his flatulence performances, wondering if he could turn pro, and he did, right? So he went on to be on Britain's Got Talent. He has been brought to New York where he's performed on Broadway, and
Ross.
he was on the Howard Stern show where he was labeled as the British Blaster. Ah,
I love the juvenile in you with
oh, it's
the.
amazing.
You're so giddy about it.
He has released an album
Ah, stop.
of cover songs which are him farting in tune to the songs, including Phil Spector's "The Do Run Run," and he also recorded a version of Phil Collins' "In the Air Tonight." But Phil Collins and his record label would not allow him to release it, saying that this is a very serious song and we cannot see any reason for it to be taken so lightly. I can just picture Phil Collins listening to it and going, why would somebody do this? Ah! Oh man, that is fucking amazing. Um, he
I'm gonna
auditioned
have to
for,
listen. I'm gonna have to listen to this.
oh, I'm telling you, man. He auditioned for Britain's Got Talent. He didn't make it through.
Joke.
Oh, Simon Cowell called him a disgusting creature, and he made it all the way to the semi-finals of Germany's That's Super Talent before being eliminated. Absolutely
How,
unbelievable.
how much does a farter get paid?
I mean, listen, I don't know, but he's released a DVD and everything of
Imagine
his
doing your
his
tax
contribution.
returns like
Oh my, yeah. Or imagine like during COVID when there was no gigs and he had to sign on occupation,
farters. What is? Oh,
a flatulist.
how did you come across this, Danny?
I like reading weird and wonderful facts, Graham, and I was just just going through some. weird and wonderful medieval facts, and Roland the Farter was one of the first ones that popped up, and I was like, ah, here, what is this? And then from Roland the Farter, it went from there. And then it got me thinking of just that whole thing of like when you're in school and they're telling you about careers and all that. And at no point did somebody crack a fart in St. Lawrence College and a teacher went, follow your dreams, son. It's a career than that. You know what
They
I mean?
used to go mad. They used to go.
Oh, stop.
I remember sitting in the
The
library.
library farts were the
Miss
best
Delaney
farts.
used to go absolutely berserk.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine how many artists Ballybrack could have produced if Miss Delaney had just been a bit more encouraging?
Yeah,
If she
John
had,
O'Kavanagh.
I
John
was gonna
O'Kavanagh,
say,
my
if
year.
she had turned around to Triple JK, or if she had
He was
turned
the
around to Darren Flanagan and said, lads, you've got a talent.
John O'Kavanagh was the best on call farter ever in school. Fart. John let a fart let off a
Yeah.
fart. I was so surprised they let him on the school trip.
Jude was flatulence or just because he was a messer?
Just due,
Just,
yeah, due to his flatulence, yeah. Because every time he'd be in the library and Miss Laney see Jono come in, she knew there was going to be 40 minutes of farting and him trying to
uh,
deny it. Can't believe we're talking about farting on an episode of the podcast.
I can't believe we've been talking about it for about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh my
But
God, yeah.
imagine going into Billy Redmond's office at 16 and him asking you, what do you want to be? Well, I came across this
Mm.
lad in one of the books. I couldn't say Wikipedia, it
Yeah,
wasn't around back then.
yeah. Are you
And
familiar with medieval England at all? Redmond.
are you familiar with the 1200s? King Arthur.
Yeah. You're not. Okay. What about France at the turn of the 20th century? Have you any you've a little bit more from it, yeah. And you've been to Paris. In the Moulin Rouge, there was a performer.
And he used to fart on
And that's
command.
Le Petit Man played the Moulin. He had a regular show, the Moulin Rouge. It wasn't all just burlesque and ditties. It was also this fella walking out and being like, ladies and gentlemen, can I have your attention, please?
Yeah.
Oh. Oh, God. For the record, there's also a World Farting Championship, should anybody
Ah,
be interested.
stop. Where's
Yeah.
that being held?
Let's have a look and see where the 2024 edition is being held. Finland.
That's mental.
Yeah, and they have a
What?
LinkedIn. They have a
When
LinkedIn
is
and
it?
everything. It's legitimate.
When is it on?
Let's have a look here. The 2023 edition took place in July.
Right.
So I'd imagine we're going to be in July again.
I'm going to
Uh,
Finland in October. I was going to see if it clashed.
that's a pity. That's yeah,
Mm.
you could have been. Yeah. I can't actually see if there's a date for this year's one. I can't imagine it's the kind of thing like it takes a lot of planning. I'd say they could put that together on short notice, to be honest.
Yeah.
What I
Is
mean,
there any is there any training like? Is there any foods that can like the
well,
beans actually make you fart?
I was going to say, I would imagine some of these lads are talented enough that they can, that such as the control they have of their sphincter and diaphragm, that they can manipulate their breathing and their intake and outtake of air in a certain way that I can't imagine it's all related to diet. Diet may
Yeah.
absolutely help. If you're eating nothing but beans and hot dogs with fried onions, you know what I mean? I'm sure you have a competitive edge, so to speak. Um, but yeah, Jesus, that is a world championship.
Promoting the podcast next week. What did you talk about? Farting.
Exactly. Yeah, we spent far more time than we care to admit about professional fart. But look,
Um,
all I'm saying, Maro, is if in school somebody had told me I could have turned pro,
you
who
would have
knows?
done it
Who knows where I could be in Finland, reigning,
at the world.
defending, undisputed.
You could still enter. Here, why
You know
don't you
what I mean?
enter for the crack?
I feel like
For the crack.
feel like it's a young man's game. Feel like that could have been me standing there at Bartomania 24, raising a hand, acknowledge me, tribal chief style. You know what I mean?
Surely, it's in particularly at these events. Surely there's close calls as well, where like a turtle head will come out or something.
Look, I mean, I'd hope the vulgarity of it is not to that extreme. I'd hope that these trained professionals they can know when like Le Peterman used to have an enema before every performance
The
to
what?
yeah to ensure that his air blowing wouldn't be toxic, that he'd be clean as a whistle, so to speak.
Mental, 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 mental.
Yeah.
Come here and I ask you.
Mm.
We had Al Foran on the pod last week.
Good,
And
good luck to you.
obviously,
Good luck to you coming up with a fucking topic after that now.
no, but we were talking about the FA Cup,
We
and
were.
United went and won the FA Cup.
They only went and we'll talk about blowing hot air. Like, yeah, I
But
am.
not only did they win it, they won it convincingly. Like they were very, very good.
Probably the best they played all year.
Yeah.
The second goal, particularly,
Oh,
unbelievable,
sensational. Yeah, yeah. I don't know where that
unbelievable.
performance came from, but at the same time, you do have to acknowledge that he had a lot more players fit for the final than he would have previously.
Uh,
You know,
yeah, yes and no, right? And I
and
think,
I think using Martinez and Varane together, like Martinez
mm,
is obviously a very influential player in that 11,
yeah,
and he just hasn't been available this year.
yeah. And look, I'm no fan of Ten Hag and Ten Hag ball, as I've said before, and I I genuinely do think the number of injuries and the recurrence of injuries and the level of injuries, that's not bad luck. That's bad coaching, bad player management. There's stuff behind the scenes I think that needs to be answered on that. But absolutely, Rafael Varane and Lisandro Martinez as a centre back pairing would be the first names on the team sheet at Manchester United in the vast majority of cases this season, had they been available. And yes, when they were there, the team did look more stable, more solid. Varane is gone now, you
Which
know,
is mental, isn't it?
which
Well,
is
no, he only signed 3 year deal, didn't he?
yeah. So, but even at that, it's now a case of kind of like, well, we know we need a centre mid, we know we need a centre half, and we know we need a striker. So it's just the spine of the team, yet again, is what's needed to be to be reinforced, so to speak. But if Martinez is fit, along with Bruno Fernandes and now Garnacho, they're undisputed, undenied in terms of their place on that starting 11. Like,
Yeah.
um, it's everywhere else that you look at it and you go, oh, you know, like
There's definitely a team there to be built. Like there's as
mm,
in terms of Garnacho and Mainu and
Mainu, yeah, sorry, Mainu as
Ireland.
well.
Like I think even Diogo Dallo has been very good this season.
He has, but is he consistent and good enough? I don't know. I don't like
Probably not.
he's decent, but
Yeah.
or at least he's like he tries. He turns up and he fucking tries. Rather
Was
he's
it was it
good
two
enough.
telly Saturday for you?
It was well, yeah. I was dual screening, with the it's no longer called the Heineken Cup, but the Heineken Cup final on as well.
What score did
But
that finish?
it went to extra time, and I can't remember the final score, but Leinster bottled it, as far as I'm concerned. Absolutely bottled it. They had I don't know how many chances to get over the whitewash and get a try, and they just couldn't get the fucking job done. In extra time, then instantly in the first half of extra time, they went down to 14 with a yellow card. Toulouse then had a player sent off, so Leinster had a man advantage for the entire second, and they just didn't do anything with it. Didn't do anything with
Bottled
it.
it.
Yeah, look, don't get me wrong, Toulouse are an amazing team, and in Anton Dupont, they have arguably the best player in the world at the moment, and it was never going to be like an easy win as such. But Leinster had the quality to get the job done. They just came up short for the third year in a row, and I think there has to be question marks about that. I think Leo Cullen has been brilliant and has done a great job and everything, but at some stage you can't keep being the bridesmaid, and you have to look at why that's happening. You know,
And is it him?
maybe that's harsh. Maybe that's harsh, but it's part of it. Why can't why getting to three finals in a row was an achievement. Don't get me wrong, but it's
So they
Nobody
got the
wants to.
three and won none.
Yeah, nobody wants to get to three finals in a row and lose all three. Like that's,
Jesus.
like there's. I know they've came out and defended it, and they've came out and talked about the fact that it's not a mentality issue and blah blah blah. And there is definitely a clean cut argument there that Toulouse are just a better team. Toulouse are a brilliant, brilliant team. I don't know,
Mad.
not convinced.
I didn't even
Um,
know that was on till years ago. You would have always known that the Heineken Cup final was on. I didn't know that was on until maybe midday or 1 o'clock when you and Paul mentioned it.
yeah, yeah. I think provincial rugby has fallen off a bit in Ireland. I really do, and that
Why is
may
that?
it's probably a couple of different factors. I think the the rugby boom has kind of gone away a little bit. The national team definitely have still some of the fervour and some of the spark and the attraction, but the provinces, well, I'm saying that, and yet you still had 80 whatever thousand in Croke Park for the European semi final with Leinster there not so long ago. So maybe I'm talking out my arse, but I know for me, like I had a season ticket with Leinster for years. I didn't renew it many years ago, and I've no intention of going back to having a season ticket. I
Is that
haven't
just because you
really.
live in Leash or you just not bothered?
No, no, I'll happily travel to Dublin for an event or to something that I want to go to, but I found the crowd getting a little bit just too not my vibe. And then when they started piping in things to create atmosphere, I'm allergic to that. Fucking allergic to it. I hate that. Either let the atmosphere build and let the crowd do what the crowd is there to do, or let it fucking die in its arse and people will see very quickly, if we're going to this, we need to do so. Like, you need to let these things occur. But when you're trying to pipe in chants and when you're trying to pipe in like music to get people to do a certain chant while there's fucking play on the pitch, get away from me. Just get the. I just think that is ludicrous, and it's just in any sport, it's not acceptable. So the fact that they were doing, and then at one point they had these fucking drummers and pipers who were at the back of the stand who would start up, and all I kept thinking to myself was, they've watched the English football team and those wankers with the trumpets, and they're trying to create a Celtic rugby version. Fuck off. Well, I didn't pay fucking €60 to sit in the Aviva and listen to this.
How much is this Leinster season ticket?
I don't know, back in the day, you were talking a couple of hundred quid, like,
And what is it now?
I've no idea because I haven't tried to renew in years. I would imagine probably you're talking for the cheapest one, somewhere in the 300 to 400 quid region. I'd imagine.
Well,
Could be wrong.
and what many games that get you?
It would get you the group stage of the European games, so you're guaranteed at least four there, and then all the domestic for the. I was going to say the Rabo Pro 12, but it's not the Rabo anymore. It hasn't been the Rabo for a long time. The United Rugby Championship. So all the home games to that then.
Right.
And then you'd get first preference on knockout stage rugby and all that kind of stuff. And
Very good.
they also tried to lure you in then with a raffle for Six Nations tickets. And I've never heard of anyone getting one, and I never got one. Six Nations tickets, as the IRFU are well aware, are a fucking cod in this
I've
country.
never been to a provincial match.
Have you
Only ever
not?
been. No, I've only ever been to Ireland matches. I've
I,
never
I
been to Leinster or Munster or
yeah,
Connacht or Ulster.
I know. I loved going to them. I did genuinely at one point in time, but I don't. There was a period there. It's before COVID, anyway, so that'll tell you how long it's been. But there was a period there where it just felt like the fans were starting to become a little bit too. I don't want to use the word snobby, but fucking snobby,
You-
And I just kind of thought, this ain't my vibe. This is
I'd
not.
never, I would have never have said rugby fans would have become snobby. Never.
That a hint of sarcasm I'm detecting, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. I don't. I just. Well, yeah. So I think that's probably why you don't hear as much about the Heineken Cup or not the whatever they're calling the what's it even called now? Jesus Christ. My mind's gone blank.
European Cup, isn't it?
European Champions Cup.
European
Yeah.
Champions Cup.
Yeah. It'll always be the Heineken Cup to me. It'll always be the Heineken Cup. I refuse to accept change, Graham.
The guys drinking
Um,
a pint of vitamin H.
oh fuck off, all that shit. Like some of that, like some of that is genuinely just people who are enhancing and stealing heavily from friends of the show, Paul Howard's, Russell Carl Kelly, surely.
Yeah, yeah. But they're living it though.
You know, point of dynamite and all
The
this kind
books
of
and the
stuff.
character wouldn't have been created if they weren't actually
I know,
being
but
serious.
has anybody ever actually asked for a point of dynamite?
It's well, it, it's been overheard.
If there's anyone listening to What's the Story podcast today
What is the
that has
worst you've heard?
either themselves as even ironically and as a joke, or has
Yeah,
heard somebody, go to your nearest mirror, take a long look at it, and give yourself a talking to.
yeah.
Fucking
We'll
point
be
of
end on that note, Daniel.
I don't know. Is there anything else you want to talk about? I feel like we didn't talk about that other than farting, man.
That's what we talked about.
Fucking, that is, yeah,
The Europa
yeah.
Conference League final is on this evening.
It's on
Uh,
tonight.
yeah, Olympiacos against Fiorentina. There is 23 minutes gone and it's nil all, but Fiorentina seem to be the better team.
I'd like Fiorentina to win it.
So we went there with I think we went there with the skill. Um,
I just remember the great Gabriel
we,
Batistuta in a
class.
Fiorentina jersey.
The Fiorentina jerseys were massive.
They
They
were
were
gorgeous.
absolutely
Yeah.
gorgeous.
Lotto. Was it Lotto that made them? I
It
think
was
it was Lotto.
Lotto, it was Fila,
Fila.
Kappa. They're currently back with Kappa now.
I love that there's a resurgence of Kappa.
Yeah,
Love it.
yeah. Bulls gear is gorgeous, isn't
So are you wearing a Patagonia jumper?
it? Yeah,
You're no socialist.
long sleeve top.
Oh, lovely. Where did you get it? It's very nice. Where'd you get it?
On the Patagonia website.
Oh, very good. So you specifically went on to the Patagonia. Okay. Yeah.
I came across on me on me Instagram sponsor things. I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, of course I'll buy that. Buy everything that comes up in Instagram sponsor.
Champagne socialist. Champagne
Absolutely.
socialist.
To spend me wages on something.
Never, ever, ever let somebody discourage you, Graham, from spending a few bob on a bit of clobber. If that's what you like.
Absolutely. Champagne socialist, as you said.
From a man who has about 40 pairs of shoes. You know what I mean?
I do not. I
No,
have
I'm talking about myself there,
one.
man.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were blaming me.
Yeah, I'll turn the camera for you. Look, I'm currently sorting them out there. Look, there's a few. And
Will you dispose of the boxes?
absolutely not. Where are the shoes supposed to live, Graham? No, you do not dispose of the boxes. You keep the boxes.
Shoo, people.
Can you, man? No. Yeah, and there potentially might be another couple of pairs coming in the next couple of weeks if the sneaker app lottery gods are kind to me. Who
So,
knows?
so are they? That app is just limited edition sneakers,
Hmm.
and you can only buy a pair if your name is drawn out of a
A virtual hat, essentially. Yeah. So, for example, there
hat.
this morning there
That's
was
bonkers, isn't it? Why don't they just put them on general release?
because they're limited and such is the demand, and then they have to try and counteract bots and scammers who are trying to buy them to sell them on. You think of ticket touts, but with shoes, you know.
Oh, very good.
So
All
yeah,
right,
this morning there was a
makes
couple of
sense.
pairs
So
there that I went for, and I was unsuccessful in both lotteries. But a pair of Nike Air Kobe's Venice Beach. I don't know if you'll be able to see this or not, but look how colourful they are, man. Don't know
would
if you
you
can see
wear
that
them?
properly. But would you? I'd wear them when I'm out walking with the dogs. Think the
They are absolutely malogent,
look at that colour. Look at that, man. Look at those colours. It's gorgeous.
Danny. They're rotten.
You stop that.
It's like tie dye.
Yeah, it's Venice Beach. That's what they're called, man. It's exactly what you'd expect to see on Venice Beach.
Yeah, but you're in
You know?
fucking leash,
I'm
not
trying to
Venice Beach.
I'm trying to bring a bit of flavour to the Midlands crime. They also
You're taking the piss out of me. You
I'm
wouldn't
not.
wear them.
They also
They're not your type.
re-released Jordan Spider-Mans, which I already have. So I was like, you know what? I'm good. I don't need a second pair of them. But yeah, I just don't know. I don't know. Do you want to see the ones that are coming out tomorrow that I'm going for?
Go on.
Where are we now? Hang on a sec. These are
Those other ones are rotten.
these are Jordan 1 Low Travis Scott edition.
No, not for me.
Not for you. Fair enough.
No.
Fair enough.
The Nike sign's back to front.
That's the Travis Scott collaboration style, Graham. That's how they do it.
He
All
could
of
shove it up his hole.
all of his, and then there's a pair of Jordan 4s there that I'm on the fence about.
I like Jordan 4s. I have a pair of them myself.
Yeah,
Jordan
you like
4s.
the silhouette, don't you?
Yeah.
I'm a Jordans 1 guy, but I do like 4s as well, to be fair. 3,
Fours,
1.
the fours are more reminiscent of the 80s and 90s for me.
Ah, yeah, I can see why. Yeah. 1, 3, and 4 are the Jordans I tend to look at most. The other ones I'm
Remember
not
the
mad at.
Reebok pumps?
I do. I do.
Are they re-released at all? They'd make a killing.
Well, it's weird, right? And like Reebok probably hasn't had any interest since Allen Iverson days, or Everson, as some people say. But the AEW wrestlers, the Young Bucks, have
Yeah.
released. They have collaborated with Reebok and have
Have they?
released. Yeah, they've released a Reebok sneaker that apparently has sold out. Now, there's an awful lot of people who are speculating that's because they only made about 15 pairs of them. But yeah, yeah. I think with the store Champs, I think is where they released them.
Right.
And yeah, so Reebok
So
are.
Reebok pumps are still around then?
I don't know if they're pumps, if these ones are, or if they're just modelled on the old pumps. But yeah,
Yeah.
the wrestling tag team, Matt and Nick Jackson, the Young Bucks have a sneaker
Matthew and
deal.
Nicholas Jackson.
Yeah, they've a sneaker deal with Reebok. So there you go. There's a.
Congratulations to long-time listener Shane Fitzpatrick
Oh,
and his partner Kathy, who had their second child today. As of recording, has not been named, but a little girl. So they have two girls.
amazing, amazing. Many
So
congrats to
huge
Shane and Kathy.
congratulations to Kathy and Sissy Mickey Fitzpatrick.
Um, Sissy Mickey Fitzpatrick, one of the nicest guys in the world. And we started by talking about St. Lawrence College, so we'll probably end up with St. Lawrence College here. But they had a brilliant system where students would be employed to clean the school. Some people say child labour. Other people say no, a great way for kids to earn a few bob.
Yeah,
I was one of those child labour people, as
with the
was
Fitzies.
Sissy Mickey Fitzpatrick, and he took me under his wing, and he was always very good to me. And yeah, he was a good dude. Great time for Shane,
He's a great guy.
and a great
Great
footballer. Great footballer. Well, the Fitzpatrick family in general are great footballers. But yeah,
Yeah.
just want to say that. But congratulations to him and Caddy on the arrival of their second. Fantastic news.
Gerlo. Two girls, Layla and unnamed Fitzy.
That won't catch on.
No. And nor should it. And nor should it.
Oh, I love it. Right, Mero, that's enough. I can't believe we've done an entire episode where all we talked about was farting, pretty much. That is the one takeaway we'll have from this. But listen, lads, get in touch with it. If you or if you know somebody who has a talent,
Like
such
farting.
as being able to pass wind on demand, we are going to push them to the top. Get in touch with us, and we'll make sure that they rival Mr. Methane, or we'll crowdsource funding them to go to Finland to represent Ireland at the prestigious and infamous World Farting Championships.
What?
That's it.
That's it. You can listen to us on WTSpod.com, or you can search any podcast provider by searching WTS Pod. You can get us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Podbean, Podcast Republic, everywhere you get a podcast. Just search WTS Pod. We're at WTS Pod on Twitter. We're at WTS Pod on Instagram. He's at Danjo Murray on both.
At WTS Pod on YouTube.
On YouTube as well. And he's at Danjo Murray everywhere, and I'm at Merrigan Mania everywhere. You can get his only cans at Danjo Murray. Until next time, Daniel.
Clear eyes.
Full heart.
And lose.
Too sweet.